Welcome back to the Ball Knowers podcast. I'm Jack Keating. We got a jam-packed episode today. I'm doing a special intro. I don't normally do these, but I got a two-part episode. So we got the intro right now. Next up, we got me talking solo show about the Knicks Game 4, Game 5, closing out the NBA Finals with two big wins versus the Spurs. And the 29-point comeback in Game 4, and then the great game closing game by Jalen Brunson, scoring 45 of 94 points for the Knicks. Oh my goodness, what a great game! What a great series! What a great playoffs! What a great season in the NBA this was. It was really awesome stuff from Game 1 to Game however many it was at the end of the season. Game 100 and something. It was a great year for sports, no doubt about it. But yeah, so we got some Knicks solo talk by me. Stay tuned for that. And then at the end of that, we got like 50 minutes interview with a one-time special guest. I don't want to say one-time, but it was a first-time guest, right? Special guest TonyKnowsBall, one of my good friends. He knows UFC maybe better than I do. He really knows his stuff. And so we got a great conversation about the UFC White House, UFC Freedom 250. We had a lengthy discussion talking about all the fights. What's next for a lot of these fighters who won and lost? What's next for the UFC, certain different divisions? And will the UFC do a marquee White House event again? Maybe. Who knows? But stay tuned for all of that. This was an exciting episode to film. UFC Freedom 250 was one of my favorite sporting events of all time. So I was really excited to get to talk about that one. And obviously, Knicks winning the finals. Who isn't excited about that? Even if you're not a Knicks fan, hell, I'm not a Knicks fan. It's just still exciting. The city's never been more alive, and who can't love to see that? So yeah, leave a subscribe down below. Hit the like button, and comment if you watched the UFC Freedom 250. What was your favorite fight? Who do you think Justin Gaethje should fight next? Because we get into all of that stuff during that interview. But stay tuned because that's later on in the show. Upcoming next is my solo show for Knicks Game 4, Game 5. Some offseason talk for the Spurs. A whole lot to get into. But like I said, subscribe and like down below. Leave a comment on, I don't know. Leave me a comment. I'm going to the Knicks parade. Leave me a comment what questions I should ask Knicks fans. I'm going to make them into shorts for some more content. So leave me some questions that I should leave the Knicks fans down below at the parade. But I hope you like this video of me and Tony. Tony later, me solo in the beginning. And like I said, stay tuned. See you guys around. Hello and welcome into the basketball portion of this podcast. Again, Ball Knowers podcast. Drop a subscribe and a like down below. I just did the intro a few minutes ago, and I'm gonna now talk about Game 4 and 5 of the NBA Finals. It's a few days ago, obviously, and the Knicks did win 4-1. I'm sure all of you know. The parade's happening this weekend. It's going to be pretty exciting. So I am very excited about. It's happening on Thursday. So I'm very excited about that. I do believe I'm going to go to it. So that'll be very fun. But I wanted to just kind of talk about what happened in Game 4 and 5. It's the NBA Finals. I have to talk about the Knicks winning. That's a huge deal, right? It's a huge deal. So I can't let that go undone. Not only just because it's the NBA Finals, but it's the damn Knicks. How the hell did they win an NBA Finals? I remember 5-10 years ago that the idea of the Knicks winning the finals would be like impossible. It's impossible. It would never have happened. So I don't know. I'm just very excited to talk about this because a lot's been on my mind last few days. There's a lot of points to go over and all that stuff. So let's just get right into it. I don't really have anything planned in specific to talk about. I'm going to kind of just talk about the different points that I remember. Obviously, the 29-point comeback in the Game 4 is the big thing we should talk about to start off with. The Spurs were just dominating throughout the entire game. It wasn't even remotely close. And then, obviously, they came back and won. I don't even know how the hell that happened in the game where Karl-Anthony Towns got into early foul trouble. And so he had to sit for a lot of this game. He only played 26 minutes. 26 minutes of a 48-minute game. Brunson played 44, right? That's pretty unbelievable. I believe Wemby played 44 as well. He did. And that was a lesson that Coach Mitch Johnson had to learn. I can't do that with Wemby anymore. He can't play that many minutes. So it's a game where Ariel Huck-Porty had to come in, and he played good minutes. He had a huge block on Luke Cornett. He had one of the game-saving blocks, really. It was a ridiculous play from a guy that you don't really expect that from. And, I mean, maybe that's a good thing for the future, right? Who knows? Maybe he's going to be an impact player for them in the future. Jeremy Sohan got into this game. He hit no, he didn't hit it. He certainly missed it. It was a fadeaway two-pointer, maybe 18 feet over Wemby. He airballed the hell out of that ball. Was a -6 in 3 minutes. Deuce McBride had another horrible game. He was 0 for 4, all from 3. It was just, he had a really, really, really poor series. So that was not very good from him. Landry Shamet did not score in this one either. It was a -13 in 21 minutes. He makes his impact in other spots than just scoring, but it really is when he is scoring is really when he's felt the most. And so I just felt like overall he kind of had a rough series too. But I mean, who cares? You win in 5, right? Jose Alvarado, he came up huge in this game. He hit a massively clutch 3. I think it was a 3 to tie the game, or maybe to go down like 1 or so. It was late, maybe 2 minutes left. He was huge in this game. The defense was awesome. I think he closed that game as well. So that was great to see from him. OG Anunoby, I should really have talked about earlier. He went 7 from 9 from 3 in this game. 33 points. This is really where the OG for Finals MVP really started. I was on that train. I was saying it. I mean, I bet on it before the series started, so I was really hoping that he could have gotten it done. Game 5 from him was quite poor, and we'll get into that in a minute. Brunson scored 45 of 94 points. Again, 45 of 94 points. Just want to make that clear. Ridiculous plays from Brunson throughout the series. Every game he got better in. I felt game 1 he was huge in the fourth quarter. Was a huge reason why they won. Was really the reason that they won that game. I can't say the reason. Cat was the biggest reason, and OG played great as well. But Brunson in that game 1 in the fourth quarter was just magnificent. He led a huge comeback. He was hitting every shot that he needed to. Game 2 he wasn't horrible in. He was all right. They've got to win. Game 3 I did not think that he played very well. And then game 4 and 5, he was just on the damn money. He was super efficient. He got to the line well. He hit his threes. Even defensively, I think that he wasn't terrible in this series, which is pretty shocking to say. I mean, the numbers show that he defended shots very well in this series when he was the closest defender. And I don't know. I think it was pretty interesting. I think he hunted Wemby fantastically in this game. In particular, the shot that comes to mind late in this game, I think it was the shot to take the lead. We're on the right wing, deep 3, and he just pulls up and just drills it over Wemby. Just great plays from Brunson. So clutch. I mean, that's captain clutch. This is an infamous run that'll go down in NBA history. I've seen some wild takes of how high is Brunson currently in the NBA? Is he a top 5 player? No, he's not. Is he, top 6? He's probably he's around 10. I'm gonna do my offseason ranking soon, in the next handful of weeks. Brunson will probably be around 10 for me. Spoiler alert. But I've seen OG being ranked top 20, Cat top 15. Brunson top 40 all time. Is he the best short guard of all time? Crazy talks getting thrown all over the place. He's not the best short guard of all time. Chris Paul is still easily better. There's plenty of other guys I'm taking Brunson over, though. If you want to have Brunson over Kyrie, that's cool with me. But yeah, I don't know. OG, Cat, Brunson, good in this game. Although Cat was not very aggressive offensively, the defense was just simply magnificent. The rebounding was awesome. He's very efficient. And, 26 minutes was a plus 17 in a 1-point win. Great player. On the Spurs side in Game 4, Wemby really just fell apart in the fourth quarter, and really the second half in particular. He was just simply horrific, taking a lot of really poor shots, wasn't getting there on defense enough. And I know it was assignment-based, he was guarding Cat, but Cat's impact, I said it in the other video I did, and I have to say it again. Cat's impact is so much deeper than rebounding, so much deeper than scoring, so much deeper than the hub action that he does. He was amazing at just being such a threat from 3 that Wemby had to play up on him. Wemby had to play at the top of the key, which left the paint wide open, which led the paint to wide open OG dunks, wide open Brunson layups, Shamet cutting well, Josh Hart getting put back, Mitch Robinson doing lobs and dunks. Cat, such an impactful player, and Wemby, I just felt like I just felt like he could have been better in this game. He really just his body deteriorated down the stretch. 7 for 17 on twos, 2 for 8 from three. Again, he went 4 for 7 from the line, including 2 massively clutch free throws that he missed. I believe he went 0 for 2 on them in this game 4, and then he went he did, and then he went 1 for 2 in a game 5. I don't know if my nose always gets so itchy the second I hit record. Every time, man. Wemby, there's many things that he needs to work on in the offseason. Stamina is one. I mean, he wasn't even averaging 30 minutes per game in the regular season, and then he went up to 40 plus in the playoffs. That can't happen again if they are going to be, any form of serious about this team, like actually competing. Can I see for the entirety of the playoffs? That would be nice. I don't know if I'm able to. I'm trying to see what Wemby averaged in his playoff runs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell. He averaged 40 minutes a game in this series on 53 true shooting. It was just not good enough. 27% from 3, 42% from the field, 78 from the line. There's just a lot of stuff that Wemby's going to have to work on. He's going to have to work on getting better down low, not getting out-rebounded at times. Like Mitch Robinson, Game 5, had the huge clutch offensive rebound. And we could start to move to Game 5 here. De'Aaron Fox, terrible in this game as well. He had one or two clutch buckets, but he shot them out of this game. Stephon Castle couldn't hit a single shot at all. He was really, really poor in this game. I did not think that he had a particularly strong performance in this one. Luke Cornett showed to be pretty unplayable. Keldon Johnson was unbelievably awful in this series. And Julian Champagnie couldn't really hit a 3 in this one. Carter Bryant, whatever. Dylan Harper, I should have mentioned earlier, 21 points in this game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Dylan Harper was amazing. 8 for 12 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. Dylan Harper is such a future star. It's unbelievable how good he is. The second that he's off the court, they lose the minutes. He's just far better than Fox. I said it on the podcast with Jace a week or so ago. Dylan Harper was amazing in the series. I'm such a fan of his. He proved me right time again. And, I mean, he was the best player for the Spurs in Game 5, which we can move on to now. He was just such an impactful player. And, wait, I can't... whoa. We're not moving on before we talk about the OG tip. Pause. Like, that OG tip-in... So, you have... Like, the sequence of events we need to just kind of talk about, because that was just like one of those moments in history that you'll forever remember where you were for the entire Knicks comeback, where you were when OG made the tip in, where you were when De'Aaron Fox went for the layup at the end of the game, all of it. I mean, there's just so many moments in this fourth quarter. I mean, Josh Hart gets the steal and he goes for the layup, and he bounces off the front iron, and he misses. And the steal by De'Aaron Fox, where he gets chased down by OG Anunoby, and he gets blocked. Whether it was a foul, whether it wasn't, I don't care. Terrible decision by De'Aaron Fox to go for that layup. Terrible decision. I'm scrolling down to it now to see the exact timestamps of it all. So Castle he goes 2 for 2 from the line. I will say Castle was very clutch in the series from the free throw line. He made multiple clutch free throws throughout this series. So those put them from down 1 to up 1. Knicks called the timeout, some subs. So Fox gets the steal. They counted it as a defensive rebound. It was more of a steal for sure. Then he runs down the court and gets blocked. Jose Alvarado gets the steal or the rebound. The Spurs fouled, and I said this in the moment, and I hold this opinion still now. The Spurs fouled because they had one foul to give. The Knicks still had, I think, 2 timeouts left, or one or 2. They had enough timeouts to call one there. With 6 seconds left, Jose Alvarado is still not past half court. And Brunson's being hugged in the opposite corner by Stephon Castle. 6 seconds left. And you purposely fouled. Then the Knicks called a timeout. They put in the subs that they wanted. Shamet came in for Hart. Bridges came in for Alvarado. And you lose the game. Brunson takes the 30-foot pull-up three over Wemby. And I want to say Castle was up there too, maybe. Maybe it was Fox. I don't remember for sure who else was on him. But what are you doing? Like, why would you call the timeout there? Why would you foul on purpose there? Because if you didn't foul, they don't have the opportunity to give the ball to Brunson. They don't have the opportunity to give it to Brunson. You're looking at a Jose Alvarado pull-up three-pointer or a rushed layup attempt that Wemby swats into the top of the stands. And now it's a 2-2 series. Who knows what happens from there? Instead, you purposely foul. De'Aaron Fox does again. Terrible decision by him. Yet again. Just back-to-back awful decisions. The layup, the foul, everything about that play was just one of the worst of all time. Knicks call the timeout, make the subs. Brunson pulls up from three. I don't know why Wemby's up top. Him being up top, doubling. Or, Wemby was guarding up top, but then they doubled him. They sent the double for him. I don't know why. But sending the double left the tip-in wide open. The most important person on an inbound play at the end of the game is the inbounder. We've known this time and time again. And, what happened here, right? What happened here? OG goes in, he runs in, he tips the ball in, and Cat, even if OG misses that tip in, there's still 1.5, 2 seconds left. Cat was jumping up in rebounding position to slam that thing back home, or at least tip it back in two. They didn't box out OG. They didn't box out Cat. So that it kind of reminded me of the Robert Horry play, one of the most clutch plays of all time, where he is the inbounder and they pass it to him and he hits a three for a win in Game 7 of the finals versus the Celtics. Right? Was Celtics correct? I don't remember who was no Pistons. Right? It was versus the Pistons, I think. Man, I just can't believe that the Spurs let that play open. For the putback by OG. It was just an embarrassing loss. To put it simply, it was really embarrassing. The Spurs had the biggest finals comeback of all time after having, I think it was the biggest lead. Yeah, it was the biggest lead in the finals history after the first quarter, and the biggest lead at halftime, and they still lost that game. I don't really even know what else to say about it. It's just shocking. I know they're a young team and all that stuff, but it's just shocking that you do that. I don't know. I want to talk about Game 5, but man, I'll never forget that game. I'll never ever forget that game. Shout out the Knicks, man. It's such a fun time that they won this finals. Game 5, they win 94-90. Back in San Antonio, I said that they were going to win this game. I felt pretty confident. Coming off the loss, I just didn't think the Spurs were going to be able to bounce back, even with the extra day and all that stuff. I didn't see it. Spurs still ran a 2, 4, 6, 8, 9-man rotation here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Knicks ran a 12, but a big reason why they ran a 12 is Cat fouls out in 23 minutes here. He only scores 2 points. He goes 1 for 7 from the field, 1 for 5 from 2, 0 for 2 from 3. Good math if anyone was following along there. And OG had 5 fouls as well in 33 minutes. So they both were having to sit extended minutes. Huck Porty had to come in, I think the Huck Porty block in Game 5 was the Cornette block. I forget the block in Game 4. I think I'm correct about that. His Huck Porty plays only 2 minutes. Jeremy Sohan plays a minute here as well. Deuce McBride again scoreless in this one. Was a plus player in the 13 minutes he played, but did not get a bucket or a point. Jose Alvarado also 0 for 5 in this one, 0 for 2 from 3. He was not particularly good in this Game 5. I do remember that being the case. Landry Shamet finally hit a 3. He hit a sprinting corner running pull-up 3. It was kind of nasty. That was a great play for him to kind of get it rolling a little bit, and he didn't. But it gave them life, gave them some juice. And that was important. The important player and the main guy to talk about in this game is Jalen Brunson. 45 points on 67 true shooting. The guy had 2 steals, 3 assists. This was just a pure bucket game. 45, 3, 3, and 2. It's just I'm out here to get goddamn buckets. 14 for 27 from the field, 10 for 20 from 2. He hit 4 threes, 13 for 15 from the line. He closed this game out on his own. Every single shot, and it was evident in this game, like Brunson's the finals MVP. It was so clear. And it was clear early on, too. But every single shot in this game, especially in the clutch, but really throughout the entire game, was either starting in Brunson's hands or ending in Brunson's hands. Rarely, and maybe a few times, he was like the middleman where you pass to Brunson and he passed to the next player to get the bucket. It felt like everything was going through Brunson in this game. It was truly one of the most dominant performances I have ever seen in a playoff game, especially a closeout game. He scored 45 of their 94 points. Just ridiculous. They had 0 bench points after, I think the first bench points were like halfway through the third quarter. Jordan Clarkson hit like a layup or something, if I remember correctly, and that was the first bench points of the game. It's just embarrassing stuff. Mikal Bridges was pretty solid in this game. He shot efficiently. He played some really good defense. He had a clutch block. He hit some big threes as well. He was really coming to answer the bell, at a huge time, where he's been relatively quiet in this series and in the playoffs somewhat. And in this game, I think he played it pretty well. Josh Hart played very well as well. 13 and 11 in this game for him. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he hit overall well. But he hit 3 threes. I mean, I guess that's all you really need from Josh Hart. When Josh Hart is hitting threes, I said this quote, and this is a plus 15 for Josh Hart in a 4-point win. I said this after the first 3, the second 3, and the third 3. You don't lose a game that Josh Hart hits 3 threes. You don't lose a game that Josh Hart hits 3 threes. You're never going to get that again. In Game 6 or in Game 7, he might hit 3 combined if you're lucky in those 2 games. You need to win a Game 5 if Josh Hart is hitting 3 threes, and they did. It was huge buckets. It really kept them on the course to win this game. He was so timely. It was so big for him. Mitchell Robinson had 10 rebounds, 6 of them being offensive. He was so huge in this game as well. He really just, Wemby is just not big enough to deal with Mitchell Robinson, and that was so clear over and over and over again throughout the series, especially on the offensive glass. Mitchell Robinson granted them 2 or 3 extra opportunities in one play multiple times throughout this series, like at least 4 times. And he's a massive reason why they win this series and why they make it this far in general. The only guy on this team, I think actually he is one of 2 players on this team, he's one of 2 players on this team to officially have been drafted by the Knicks. Miles Deuce McBride sort of was as well. I mean, he was drafted by the Thunder, traded to the Knicks, but officially drafted by the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson has been there for, I think this is his 9th season, and Huck Porty, which is his 2nd or 3rd, I think 2nd season, I want to say, for Big Huck. Shout out to him, man, and shout out to Mitch. It's just homegrown stars. It's always more fun to see them. Not to say more fun, but it's cool to see them win it, And on the Spurs side in this Game 5, Dylan Harper, amazing. Dylan Harper is freaking amazing. He had a really terrible miss at the end of the game. The layup he went for, I understand it. They were down, I want to say 3. I want to say they were down 3, and he went for the layup at the end of the game, where it essentially cost them. It essentially cost them the game. I don't want to say it cost them the game because other things cost them the game as well. Namely, could we say De'Aaron Fox putting up 7 points in 37 minutes. He had 3 for 15 from the field and 1 for 8 from 3. 3 for 15 from the field and 1 for 8 from 3 for your $55 million veteran who you traded all that stuff for. It wasn't that much, to be real. It was a bunch of awful picks and whatever else, unprotected picks and stuff. But still a terrible, terrible trade. Still a terrible, terrible performance. Not a bad trade. Sorry, didn't mean a bad trade. It was a really poor trade. Performance, my goodness, sorry, it's late. It was a terrible performance for De'Aaron Fox in this series in general and in this closing game. It was just abysmal to watch. It was actually painful to watch, quite frankly. Keldon Johnson was a plus 17 in this game and a 4-point loss. It did not feel like that, honestly. He hit 2 threes, he did, but I don't know. I just felt like he was fine in this game. Interesting. Stephon Castle was also terrible in this game. 6 points. He was 1 for 10 from the field. 1 for 7 from 2. 0 for 3 from 3. He Missed 2 free throws as well. I think he missed. I feel like he missed some late. And then I know Wemby missed a clutch one late as well. Dylan Harper, I think, went 0 for 2 clutch in this game, where it's just like you kind of knew from a rookie that's what's about to happen, and it did, unfortunately. Wemby with 5 blocks in this game. He was really impressive early on. I think he had all 5 within the first quarter, or maybe in the first half. I know he had 4 within the first 2 minutes or something. He had 19 and 14 in this game. Vassell was solid throughout the series. He was kind of hit or miss, though. His threes weren't really falling to the extent that you would want them to. Similar with Julian Champagnie, who looked like he was going to be on a heater to start out this game, and he was. He had 4 threes, but he cooled down heavily in the second half. And the other guys on this team, like Cornette, was unimpactful in this game. Carter Bryant was unimpactful in this game. I don't really know what the Spurs do from here, because we can kind of segue into that. I don't really exactly know what the Spurs do from here. Whether it's keeping Fox. If you keep Fox, though, he has to come off the bench. Harper's better than him. You can't keep having Harper come off the bench. You heard what Vassell said in the exit press, that Harper was upset with his minutes and his role throughout the season and in the playoffs, which completely makes sense. Harper was arguably their second best player, overall this season, and he's on the bench. He's getting benched in the clutch time when he's the leading scorer of the game. So much stuff is wrong with the way that Mitch Johnson was coaching, specifically with Dylan Harper. And so, do you trade him? Do you trade Fox? I don't know who wants him. Who wants that contract, right? Let's pull up the De'Aaron Fox contract. I believe it is a 4-30, a 4-year, $230 million. Starting next season, it kicks in. It's like 49.5, then 53.5, then 57.5, then 61 million, and then he's a unrestricted free agent in 2030, 2031 when he's 33 years old. Awful contract. Genuinely one of the worst contracts in the NBA. I don't know who's taking that. Probably going to have to add picks to get somebody to take it, unless you're doing some sort of Julius Randle swap or something. But I don't even know if the Minnesota Timberwolves would really do that. They're in a sticky situation, I think, and it sounds weird to say. You got a 22-year-old star in Wemby, about 21, 22 in Castle. I think Harper's 20. You just made the NBA Finals. You took the Knicks to 5 games. I guess not really took them anywhere. Right, only 1 win, but still, you beat the defending champs. That was their Super Bowl. We all know that. We saw the way that Wemby was crying. I want that get back next year. We're taking that dub next year. I promise you that. It feels weird to say, but I don't really know where the Spurs go from here. I know it's a lot of internal development in Wemby and Vassell and Harper and Champagnie and Keldon Johnson and Castle and Carter Bryant could be a big part in the future. And they still have a 20th overall first-round pick this year that maybe they're going to try to look up to move up. Maybe they just stick and pick and they can get a good player. I don't know who it would be. They need I would like them to get a better starting 4 than Champagnie. Champagnie's cool, but he's more of a bench scorer to me than a proper 4. Especially you'd want more of a bully type guy for Wemby to help out with, and that could be a Julius Randle. It would make sense. I would like them to get a better backup 5. I know Cornette was pretty solid for them throughout the regular season, but he was not good in the postseason, and that was clear. I thought the signing was good originally. He was great for the Celtics in their championship run, but Cornette was not good enough in this run for them at all, and is a part of the reason why they lose this series. He's not the only reason. Wemby was a massive part of it. Wemby was quite poor throughout this series. He's got to work on his stamina 100%. I mean, like I said earlier, that's going to be a big part of it. His strength. He needs a better creation game. He's not a good enough passer, so people can double him easily. He turns the ball over a little bit too much. There's a lot of stuff that Wemby needs to work on, like any other 22-year-old. But when you're, an MVP candidate, you're claiming for you're asking in the media for you to win MVP. You're giving your own case. You're a unanimous defensive player of the year. You're the best player on your team who just made the finals. You're a 62-win team, second in the East or second in the West, the second best record in the NBA. One of 3 teams to win 60 games this season. You beat the defending champs. You talk all that trash, all that stuff. You're held to a higher standard than an average 22-year-old. And Wemby, I don't know. He's got... I'm a Wemby fan. I am. But, I have his jersey. But I will say, this run also kind of made me a little bit more soured on my feelings towards Wemby. I have to be honest. The stuff that people, and I don't want to just talk about as a Thunder fan, because I'm not even a Lou Dort fan as much as I was years ago. But the stuff that people talk about Lou Dort for, Wemby was doing the exact same stuff in this run. He was pulling hair, pushing Brunson to the ground, undercutting Brunson on the 3 in Game 5, which, I mean, you saw Brunson was limping heavily. He was hurt in the series a lot. Game 1, he got hurt like 3 different times. He went back to the locker room like twice. Carter Bryant was pushing players. He was pushing Shea in the back numerous times. Stefan Castle was pushing players in the back. This is just a team that they were scrappy in the wrong way. They were they were just not playing. I don't want to say like ethical basketball. It's such an overused term these days, but the way that they were playing is just is not real basketball. It was unfair. They were intentionally trying to hurt people. It was just weird to see. I mean, tons of people are saying this online. It's not just me. It was just surprising to see from this team. I didn't really think that this was the team that would do that, especially after the way that they preached that the Thunder were playing unethically and free throw hunting and pushing and da 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 da. And people always say that about Lou Dort. I'm not going to say they're wrong either. I don't know. Just weird stuff from them. I hope that it doesn't continue in the future. It's certainly a maturity thing. I mean, even Stefan Castle post the series loss, post a Game 5 finals loss where you're going home, season's over, he still said that we dominated the series. We were the best team. Every game was dictated. The loss was dictated by us, meaning like they gave up the loss or they won the game. Not like the Knicks came back. They were giving no respect to the Knicks before the series, during the series, after the series. I mean, the way that they cried after the Thunder win, you would think that they thought that was the finals. And that's what a lot of people have said, and I completely agree with it. I think that the Spurs genuinely believed that the Western Conference Finals was the NBA Finals, as a ton of fans did. I believed it. I'll be honest. I believed it. But as a player, you can't believe that way. You're not sitting here doing a podcast. You're sitting there shooting up for the NBA Finals. So you got to lock in and be ready for the NBA Finals, because the Knicks were. They had a whole week off before them. And rest over rust every day. Rest over rust every day. Knicks looked great. Dominant performance from them. And now they're NBA champions, man. A few months ago, we were talking about Cat trades. Cat was saying just like a week before the NBA Finals started, he was saying that he didn't know his role on the team. The cohesion was weird. Didn't look weird in the playoffs, man. Didn't look weird when they were beating the Hawks by 50 in a closeout game. Didn't look weird when they were sweeping the Sixers. Didn't look weird when they were sweeping the Cavs. Didn't look weird in a Game 5 win. I guess it did. Cat didn't, Didn't look weird in 5 games against the Spurs. It's shocking, man. I'm not even a Knicks fan. It's shocking. I'm so happy for all my Knicks friends. I know dozens of Knicks fans. I'm from Jersey. Everyone in the Tri-State's a Knicks fan for the most part. It's so fun. It's so fun for the Knicks to win it. The city's so alive. It's just awesome to see. They deserve it. The fans really deserve it. I mean, 53 years, if I remember correctly, is the amount. 53 years to not win a finals. That's so long. Now it's the Kings, who are at 75. Good chance they hit 100, I'm not going to lie. Good chance they hit 100. It's unfortunate to say, but I wouldn't doubt them hitting 100 years in a row without winning a title. They are nowhere close. But as for the Spurs, I don't really know exactly what they do from here. I would like to quickly pull up the free agents for this upcoming season and who it is that the Spurs can get, right? Like a realistic person. I really don't even know. That's a tough thing, because a lot of so let's search by forwards, right? Let's search by power forwards. They have, or we'll just search by. It has to be a wing. That's stupid. Guard, point guard. Or I could do forward. I could just do forward. So, I'm gonna only name the realistic ones. Like Chris Middleton. What does that really do for you? How interesting is that? Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins picking up the player option. He's not doing it. I think Draymond would be amazing on this team. He'd be amazing, but he's gonna pick up the player option, stay in Golden State. John Collins, I thought was gonna be better on the Clippers, and he was quite terrible. So I don't even know what to say about him. Right? You have to assume Harrison Barnes is gone. Kelly Olynyk is probably gone. And the list just gets worse and worse and worse. Like Kenrich Williams would be amazing on the Spurs. I don't think that he's going to leave the Thunder though. I think Dean Wade would be pretty interesting for the Spurs. I don't really know how that works. I mean, I guess he just walks, but I don't think he'd be too expensive for the Cavs to bring back. I mean, this list just gets worse and worse as you go on. Tari Eason, like that's I guess interesting, but he's going to get re-signed. He's just. I don't know how the Spurs fix their team outside of a trade. Free agency this year is not particularly good. I saw people saying like Zach LaVine or something. I don't know why the hell the Spurs would want him. He's a terrible, terrible, terrible defender. That just makes no sense to me. Man, I don't know. I think Rui Hachimura would be great for the Spurs, but my prayers are that the Thunder trade Lu Dort for Rui. That would make me really happy. I will say my finals predictions next season is Thunder Pacers 2.0. I do think the Pacers are the best team in the East, and I do think the Thunder are the best team in the West. 82 games away from the playoffs, though. I felt this way last year post finals run. It was like, all right, let's get the regular season over with. But this year, I want my get back, and I'm really feeling like let's get the regular season over with. I want that third MVP, though. I want Shea to go for 3. I think it's possible. If they break the win record or get close to it, I think they can get it done. I don't know, I'm rambling a little bit. It is 3:30 in the morning, so 33 minutes on the Knicks winning the championship. Congrats to the Knicks, 2026 NBA Finals champion. I never thought I'd see the day, honestly. Never really thought I'd see the day. They've been so bad my whole lifetime. Good for them. Absolutely good for them. So cool to see happen. All the players on the team deserve it. I feel so good for Karl-Anthony Towns. I feel so good for Mike Brown, who really, I should have mentioned this earlier, Mike Brown coached so well in the postseason. And in the entire, in the postseason entirely, the finals in particular was just so good. He so massively outcoached Mitch Johnson. And I said it in one of the podcasts after the Cavs series. He massively outcoached Kenny Atkinson, too, to the point where people are saying Kenny Atkinson should have gotten fired. That Shams had to post a tweet saying the Cavs are keeping Kenny Atkinson on the team. That's how bad it got. Shout out to Cat, man. I'm so happy that he got a finals. And shout out to Brunson. The conversations this summer are going to be crazy. But when you win a finals, those conversations can get crazy. I'm excited for the parade. If I do go, I think I am. I'm going to try to bring a mic so I can maybe film some fans or something. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do, right? Maybe do some interviews or something. Maybe I'll ask some fans if they can name some players on the last Knicks championship team. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get Knicks deep poll, see if you're a real fan. Who knows? A lot of opportunities there for me. So stay on the lookout for that. I'll post some shorts. Man, Knicks won the damn finals. Who could have guessed it? Next up though, Tony Knows Ball, UFC Talk. Stay with it. Subscribe down below and leave a like if you're a UFC fan or if you're an NBA fan. I got a ton more content coming out. So I got a very exciting interview soon. I'll promote it more as it comes up because I don't know an exact date that it's going to happen, but I haven't told anybody about that. It's going to be a surprise. I'm very, very excited. Big media member. So stay on the lookout for that. But again, leave a subscribe down below. And thanks for watching. UFC content, UFC interview with Tony Knows Ball coming up right now. Hello and welcome back to the Ball Knowers podcast. I'm Jack Keating and we're talking some UFC today. UFC Freedom 250 was this past weekend at the White House. But before we get into that, we've got to introduce our special new guest today. Tony Knows Ball, for the first time, is on the podcast. How's it going, Tony?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk some UFC here. This is gonna be.
You've never done it on your pod before, right? This is your first.
I briefly talked about it a little bit. And then way back in the day, like one of my first videos, I think it's still on my channel. I talked UFC 299. It was O'Malley, Chito Vera. And so I talked through that card. I did that one solo. But for the viewers who don't know we talk UFC, you and I, all the time, and you know your stuff, no doubt. And so and this was such an an important UFC card, like one of the biggest of all time. I have so many thoughts to say, from Justin Gaethje with one of the greatest upsets of all time, beating Ilia Topuria and giving him
Okay, wait. Are we
first
starting
loss.
with that? Or are we?
No, no, no.
Are we
I'm
like?
just kind of. I was just
All
recapping
right.
a little bit to from Gaethje doing that upset down to Diego Lopez knocking out Steve Garcia. There's kind of a lot to talk about. I mean, there was a knockout or a TKO in every single fight, so there's definitely a lot to go over.
Yeah. Structured like that intentionally, obviously, but no complaints. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome live. Awesome to watch back.
Yeah.
Awesome to talk about.
100%. Like I watched some of the more of the fights today. And I mean, it was just such a good card. Like it was just so good from top to bottom. There was really not a single fight where I was bored at all. I think, like, I guess if you were really trying to like make like a worst fight, I guess it was like the Bo Nickel fight, just because he's not really exciting when he gets finishes.
No one. I don't think anyone cared about that.
Yeah, like
in comparison to the other ones.
Yeah, it wasn't one that people were like excited going.
Maybe
into.
college wrestling fans, but that's
yeah, like Joe Rogan was excited for it or something.
not enough leg kicks. Not enough leg kicks.
That is true. So we want to start with Topuria Gaethje, just because it's like that was just so exciting. There's so much to talk about.
Sure.
Because we could also just hop around a little bit. Like, we're not going to go necessarily in depth into every single one.
If we're gonna start with Topuria Gaethje though, I gotta talk about the rankings today. Did you see them?
I did see the rankings update. Yes. So
like pound for pound, that's obviously the most important one.
Yeah, so pound for pound, that's a good spot to start. So Islam stays at 1. Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champion, is at 2. Peter Yan, the bantamweight champion, is at 3. Gaethje debuts at 4 or I guess not debut, but he goes from non-ranked to 4th on pound for pound. And Ilya falls to 5 from 2, where he was 1 earlier this year. I think
that's the most important thing. I think that's very telling of what they're going to do after. I don't know if Gaethje will take it, but I think they're definitely going to push for that immediate rematch. Like 1,000. So? Oh, yeah. If they're ranking them like that. Well, for one, they're right next to each other. Obviously, that's important. Mm-hmm. It was an outdoors fight. That's something that, like Ilya could push the, fluke type thing.
Interesting.
And most importantly, Ilya already beat Charles, and they don't like Armin at all.
Yeah.
Like, we already know those things.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, Armin was supposed to be the backup fighter for Gaethje Topuria, and then he just didn't show up to the White House. And so they didn't have a backup fighter. And so then you had to have Diego Lopez, who was fighting at featherweight. He had to weigh in again at lightweight, championship weight, like an hour later. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah. So, and like obviously, luckily,
I don't know if they'll get it. But I think they'll push for that immediate rematch. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. You and I talked a little bit about it last night. And we'll get more into it here. That I think that they could. There's a few different routes that lightweight can. The UFC can take the lightweight division from here. So there's obviously the immediate rematch, but also more stuff has come out that Ilya did have 2 broken orbital bones or orbital fractures on both of his eyes today, or I guess from the fight. Neither is going to have surgery though, because they said it was smaller fractures, and
he'll still be out for quite some time.
Yeah, I have to assume that it's going to be. I mean, if he even fights like December, I would be a little surprised. Like I could see his.
I'd be shocked if he came back by the end of the year.
Yeah, like I'm expecting Ilya's 2026 to be over. Maybe fighting early to mid next year.
Like mid next year would be my guess.
That's
not even off the like physical thing, but also it's his first loss. He's still dealing with his wife and all that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That is fair.
Yeah, mentally, I think it's even more important for him to take time than physically. And physically, he does need the time.
Certainly. So then it raises the question, because Gaethje is, 36, I think, 37 in that range. So if Gaethje is going to stay in the UFC and not retire, which is certainly an option here, then are the realistic options for him to fight. So we have Benoit versus Paddy fighting in a few weeks now. Maybe he fights the winner of that one. I would say it's pretty unlikely though.
the most unlikely, especially if Patty wins, because he already beat Patty.
Yeah.
They're going to make Patty get more than one, I would imagine.
Yeah. And so you have Max Holloway at 4, but he's fighting Conor McGregor up at welterweight this upcoming
Yep.
weekend. So that's not, or I guess no, it's not this upcoming, it's a couple weeks away. So that's not an option. So then you have Armin and Charles. There's talks about potentially them fighting versus each other
They
later this
should
summer.
just fight each other. I'll be real.
I agree.
And I think they will. Because, and more so for Charles than Armin, I think Armin has done enough. Like, if you take away the weigh-in stuff and all the out of octagon stuff, I think Armin's done enough. But it's really hard to give Charles the title shot because he got it against Ilya off beating Michael Chandler, which wasn't, that's not a title fight level win anymore. And he got knocked out. He got knocked out by Ilya. So it's really hard to justify him getting a title shot against the guy who beat Ilya pretty handedly.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong about that at all. But it's tough to figure out what the UFC's going to do. Are they going to reward Armin kind of out of nowhere, where he hasn't fought in quite some time? His last fight was Dan Hooker late last year, and then Charles hasn't fought since Max Holloway, and that was a handful of months ago, back in March. And
he took no damage.
Yeah. And so, like, Charles at this point could turn around, and he's ready, and Armin certainly is ready to go as well. I could see them doing a 5-round fight. Obviously, they had a 3-round fight versus each other a couple years ago, and that was like one of the better fights of that year.
Should have never been 3 rounds.
Yeah, and I think everyone from the get-go was saying this shouldn't have been 3 rounds, and during the fight, it was so good. Everyone was saying it should have been 3 rounds. I expect them to do Charles Armin again this summer, do a 5-round fight, co-main of some. Like I was telling you, I could see it being the co-main to Islam, Ian Gary. We'll see if that is.
In any case, it does need to be 5 this time around.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Especially if it's going to be.
Yep. If it's for the title.
Yeah, to fight for the title. Yeah.
I think I'm of the belief every number 1 contender thing should be 5 rounds.
I agree.
Because you need to showcase.
That you can do it at that level, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't expect Ilya to fight the rest of this year. And if that is the case, then if Gaethje's going to stay active for 1 or 2 more fights, I just can't see him being willing to sit for an entire year until Ilya's healthy. So he's probably going to fight the winner of Armin Charles. Personally, I'm taking Charles because that's my GOAT. And if Charles wins that fight, honestly, even if Armin wins that fight, I think I would have either one of them beating Gaethje.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely Armin more so than Charles, because Charles is chinny, to say the least.
He is. I mean, he got knocked down numerous times in their last fight. I was watching.
He's got knocked down, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, every fight since the Islam fight, barring Benil. No, before that, it would be every fight since the Chandler fight, the first Chandler fight, barring Benil Dariush, he got knocked down. And Gamrot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he got knocked down to Gamrot. Yeah, I think you were correct about that. But I mean, he just gets knocked down multiple times in every single fight. Like I was watching his Gaethje fight from a couple years ago when Charles won the belt, and he didn't he got knocked out multiple times, but he just got up every time, and then he did a great jab on Gaethje, and then ended up submitting him. And I mean, that's kind of like sort of what I would expect to happen again. Like Gaethje throws out a couple of his best punches, and they'll somewhat work, but Charles is just gonna like submit him when in the end. But whatever.
Charles has improved his wrestling since then.
Yeah,
we're kind of.
Yeah, I want to get back to the fight this past weekend on Sunday, which was also weird to have a fight, a UFC card on a Sunday. Like it's just it's still like it's kind of messed up my whole week. Honestly, like my mindset's been it feels like I'm a day ahead of.
I'm on Thursday. Yeah. I'm on Thursday right now, even though it's Wednesday.
Yeah. So Gaethje just kind of put it on Ilya like throughout the entire fight. You and I rewatched it immediately right after it ended because it was just so shocking that what had happened. I mean, Ilya quit on the stool at the end of the 4th round. Arguably, he should have been not allowed to fight that 4th round because the doctor came in. And I was explaining this. Yeah,
normal card would have been stopped going into round 4.
I was explaining this to my parents. Like the doctor came in. I've never seen this in any sport. The doctor comes in, checks him out, does the eye thing. He shakes his head no to the ref. He says he can't do it. Yeah, Mark Otter's just
Mark
like,
Otter.
oh, ref, just get out of the cage. Like, even Ilya's cornerman came back in and started to, like, give him more water and all this stuff. And Mark Otter just told them all to leave, and he's like, yeah, let's just keep fighting. Um, and Ilya did all right in the fourth round, like, because he got an extra minute, too. That helped. But, like,
Certainly better than the third, which we
yeah.
both scored a 10-8, I believe.
Yes, yeah. I had Ilya losing, or Gaethje winning that third round at 10-8. Going into the fifth round, I had it 38-37. Gaethje was ahead because I had Ilya winning round 1 and 2, right?
I did too.
And then and then Gaethje winning 10-8 round 3, 10-9 round 4, and so he'd be up by 1 point. I could have seen Ilya winning that fight though, or being a majority draw. Like I don't think it would be unforeseen for him to have a good fifth round, but. Like he also, I was expecting a knockout honestly, but the way that Gaethje was putting it on him at the end of that round, and then obviously the broken ribs too, or like I guess it wasn't confirmed to be broken ribs, but I'm assuming it was. The knee he took to the side, that's really what ended the fight because he with that he wouldn't be able to fight in the fifth round. Had that not happened, I think maybe something else happens.
This is kind of I wouldn't say this is a weird question, but if you had to give that fight like a story, like a headline to describe it, what would it be for you? Like the biggest reason that Ilya lost that, what would yours be? I know what mine is. I know what mine is.
I think a big part of it was Ilya's like the defense that he was doing. You and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Like staying. I don't know what the headline would be, so like I'm kind of this is far more wordy.
That's bad way to phrase it.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Like why did Ilya lose? I think the way that he was defending with kind of like staying on his back foot and like keeping distance from Gaethje, but he's shorter with a shorter reach, so he's not able to win a fight that way. And so I think that was certainly a big part of it. And then honestly, I think that he wasn't doing leg kicks enough. He did a few early on, and they were successful and going well. And then he just completely abandoned it. So I think that was two things that really stood out to me. But Ilya also just exerted a ton of energy in that round 2, like throwing a million punches at Gaethje as hard as he could in the stomach. And had he let Gaethje up when he fell down, he probably wins the fight because Gaethje wouldn't have been able to get up. And Gaethje's coach even said that today. But who knows? We'll never know. But I think there was just a few things that Ilya could have done to potentially win the fight or at least better it. But I think Gaethje overall just kind of like outclassed him. He outboxed him 100%. His kicking was amazing, and then like the fake like collar grab into an uppercut that he was doing
the collar tie. Yes. Yeah. The collar tie was outstanding from start to finish for Gaethje. If I had to give like a one, there obviously there's accumulation of things that led to that, but the biggest thing for me by far, not even close, Ilya's IQ, particularly defensively, but offensively as well. He had some stinger moments too.
Mm-hmm.
Just to watch Gaethje, a guy who throws uppercuts every single fight he's in. He's been doing it since the start of his career. Fiziev, literally 2 fights ago, he went uppercut for uppercut with him. Got the finish for that. Or no, he won. Was it a finish or decision? I think it was a decision, but he got like a knockdown against Fiziev.
Gaethje Fiziev.
Yeah, I want to say it was decision.
But he got a knockdown.
Yeah. But he went uppercut for uppercut with him, and Gaethje's collar tie reaction every time. Poirier's reaction to Gaethje's collar tie was to stare down and pull back instead of like just moving his. He didn't stare down and pull back. He stared down and dipped into the uppercut, which made no sense because Gaethje, when he gets the collar tie, that's what he's looking for.
Yeah,
he's looking for the right uppercut off the left collar tie, and Poirier's reaction to that was subpar to say the least. Start to finish, he literally got his eye cut by that uppercut in the first round. It was like with 4 minutes to go in the first round. Just really, really bad game plan. One of the worst I've ever seen, quite frankly.
Yeah, it was just shocking to see from somebody who's like so smart, so well respected in the sport.
Yes,
he's so dominant. Like he's
so
really
smart.
Ilya is the type of fighter that like you just don't question anything he does really. Like every kick, punch, dodge, everything he does, I've always just been like, oh wow, he's just outclassing his opponent.
The
And
the
we
one
saw it with
knock that
Volk,
people have
Max
had on
Holloway,
Ilya.
Charles, and now I mean I thought Gaethje was the easiest of those three, and apparently it was the hardest for him. I mean we've heard Gaethje's a crazy puncher. Like everyone who's fought him has left with the craziest battle wounds that they've ever had. But I didn't think that would be the case for Ilya. And his face, like he looked like a different person after that fight ended.
Yeah, I thought after the first 2 rounds that it was just gonna be what everyone thought was gonna happen, but Gaethje really turned it on in round 3 and never looked back. Yeah.
So I'm looking at this ranking. It's from CBS Sports, and it's ranking the top 25 greatest American UFC fighters of all time. And so, or is this champion? Yeah, it's just fighters of all time. And they have Gaethje at 21. Is that low? Does that feel very low? I saw a lot of people saying that this win catapults Gaethje up their all time rankings, and he really he's one of the better fighters all time. He's like I saw people calling him the greatest brawler of all time.
That's honestly fair, but that says more about like the brawling style and how it doesn't work more than it says about Gaethje, at least in my eyes. But to me, I don't think this is like obviously it's an all time win for Gaethje, but I don't think it's not something that I think to me this fight said more about Ilya than Gaethje because you saw Gaethje. He ended up knocked down from the body shots. He ended up on bottom with Ilya mounted. He ended up in a similar position to what Charles had him in before he got the rear naked choke and what Khabib had him in before he put the triangle. Like, Gaethje did everything that he normally does. Ilya just had the worst reaction possible to everything.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I think that says more about Ilya than Gaethje. I don't think Gaethje's some like no disrespect, obviously. But I don't think he's like an all time great. Yeah, I'd still put him lower than Dustin. Nah, he's ahead of Dustin. But I'd still put him lower than like Khabib, Charles, and Islam in like lightweight rankings, for example.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fair. I don't disagree with that. It's just a question. Yeah, I mean I don't, there's so many thoughts that I'm sure after this conversation I'm gonna want to keep coming back to it because just the way that Gaethje just completely dominated him, and even the rounds that Ilya won, they weren't extremely convincing. Round 2 was pretty convincing, especially the way that
round 2 was pretty convincing.
Yeah, round 2 was convincing. Yeah. I'm more so talking about round 1 when I say that. Round 1 was pretty close. I felt like Ilya certainly had the more damage put on his face, but I felt like that he landed better punches on Gaethje. It was the eye, like he got eye scratched a couple times.
Gaethje did have the most important strike of the round, though.
Yeah,
when he cut Ilya.
No doubt.
That
no doubt.
obviously impact. Yeah.
So that was such a dominant performance from Gaethje. That was just so impressive. Do you have anything else though? Because I want to keep it moving on to the next.
Yeah. No, I have nothing more.
Okay. So the next fight that we had was Cyril Gane just beating the hell out of Alex Pereira, who is actually not ranked in heavyweight.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I saw that he wanted a rematch. I don't know if that's
he did call for an immediate rematch. So yeah, Pereira had some interesting comments to say today. He did an interview. Yeah. So he said he wants an immediate rematch, which there's no that's not happening. Cyril Gane is the interim champion. He's gonna fight for the real heavyweight belt. You're not gonna get an immediate rematch. Second thing he said was the UFC needs to do something about Herb Dean because he is allowing too many dangerous strikes, which is quite hilarious because everybody has said that for years. But this is not the greatest. I mean, Cyril Gane hit Pereira with about 10 illegal 12-6 behind the head elbows, but that's still not the greatest. Not the greatest point though, because he got cooked in this fight. He got knocked down and knocked out, and so
by a jab.
Yeah, by a jab. And it wasn't even a hard jab. It was the jab wasn't even fully extended.
It wasn't late into the fight after he already ate a bunch of shots or whatever. It was round 1. He ate a big right jab and he got sat down and just Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I told you this before the fight. I said Gon would win, though. I believe I told
you
you
did.
that.
No,
If
you,
I
you did.
didn't,
You
I
did.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gon too big, too strong, too fast. Pereira not a natural heavyweight in the slightest. He's already slow at his lower weight classes, and he definitely looked slow against Gon. That was the biggest thing for me.
mm,
Gon was bigger, he was stronger, and he was faster, and that's what really fucked Pereira up was that he couldn't get in at all, and he was the weaker guy.
yeah,
Which bad conversation, bad combination.
yeah. I mean, the way that Cyril Gahn just got so destroyed by John Jones, I kind of thought that Pereira would have a better chance. I know it's not like John Jones and Pereira are the same type of fighter, but I don't know. I mean, Gon looked really good versus Aspinall. Maybe I should have read more into that. But like, I just thought that Pereira would have a better chance, like just not getting sat down within like two punches being landed on him. Like honestly, the second that fight ended, my first thought was like, the way that looked, and I know that Pereira's had some sort of a learning curve when he's moved up divisions, but the way that looked, I kind of felt like maybe heavyweight wasn't the best decision for him. Like maybe he should have stayed at light heavyweight a little bit longer.
205.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
he had just won the belt back over Ankh. Ankh's probably not going to get another title shot soon, and the way that he demolished him in that second fight, like he had no chance. It made sense for him to have to earn his chance a little bit. Or not earn his chance, but like earn the belt a couple more times. Like win the belt back a couple times and defend it at light heavyweight. But instead he moves up to heavyweight, and I mean he just got outclassed simply. I saw the future odds like if these fights happen, what would the odds be? And him versus Josh Hokett, who we can talk about in a second here too. The Hokett would be the favorite according to like all the different sites that have pre-fight odds.
I understand it. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I understand
like
it.
I was thinking
Hogan is
I was
a
thinking
very fast heavyweight.
yeah, I was thinking I was gonna get Hokett on like a sneaky plus 200 or something, plus 150. But if he's the favorite, like that sucks because I mean it makes sense that people
I
think that
wouldn't
agree
bet
with him.
on him. I'll say that. I wouldn't bet on him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't.
He was getting hit by Chris Blades.
Yeah,
He was getting hit a lot.
yeah, he got hit a lot by Curtis Blades, and then I mean I feel like Derek Lewis even landed like maybe like 2 or 3 punches. It was like very few
He
because
landed,
Derek Lewis is like
7 strikes unofficial by the broadcast or whatever.
he landed like 1 in the first round. I could pull it up. I think.
It was slop from Derek Lewis. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Lewis is like fat and slow and unathletic. Like he's just. I mean, okay, I can't say
and
unathletic.
mentally uninterested in sport.
Yeah, so he landed 7 strikes in the second round and 1 in the first round. He only threw
I'm
5.
shocked he did better in the second than the
He
first.
only threw 5 in the first round.
Good for him.
Yeah. He Josh Hokett landed 54 in the first round. I wonder if that was. We're never gonna see the judging scoring cards because it's a KO. But I just have to imagine the first round was like a 10-8 at least. Like it was like borderline 10-7. Like Derek Lewis was just getting demolished. He falls to rank 11 in heavyweight, and Hokett goes up to 4.
It says a lot about that division. That
Yeah.
Derek Lewis is.
It
pushing
usually
top
falls
10.
to 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean that was just utter domination. It was kind of like honestly not even much to say about it because that was what was expected. The more interesting conversation is what's next for Hokett, whether it's a Pavlovich or if it's who just beat what's his name Talashan Teixeira for like back in May, and so maybe he fights Pavlovich. Maybe he fights Volkov. I know that he called out Pereira, and Pereira kind of called him out too. There's
Volkov would be quite a bad matchup for him.
Definitely.
In my head.
I agree. I do agree. And I kind of feel like the UFC wants to boost up Hokett a little bit. He's this like
absolutely.
He's a a lot of people don't like him. He's kind of taking this Conor McGregor route of calling everybody out and like being this annoying character type guy. So I could see them not giving him a guy like Volkov who he'd have to like earn that win over. I mean Volkov has over 50 fights. That's just ridiculous.
The UFC, they have like guys that they like in every division, kind of. There's a better way to put that, but I mean obviously they have their favorites. But what I'm saying is there's a select two to three people who are gonna get like extra special favors from the UFC over others. In heavyweight, it's going to be Hoke, and then obviously he hasn't debuted yet, but it'll be Stevenson
Oh yeah,
when he
certainly.
debuts.
The
Yeah,
Stevenson
he'll be.
debut is in a few weeks, right? It's on the Max Holloway card, or is it?
It's on the Connor. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah,
Connor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're giving him like a. I don't even remember the dude's name. It's nobody that he will crush because
yeah.
obviously.
I'm so curious to see what Connor looks like because I do think there's a world that he beats Max at 170. Also a big part of it is what does Max look like at 170? How does the added size for him, work? I mean, because he looks pretty good at 155, and it's not a huge jump from 155 to 170, but you definitely have to add about 20 pounds of day-to-day weight before so you can make the cut down
Yeah.
and then hydrate to back to like a real 190 level type of weight. So we'll see. I'm very
He'll
curious
be
to
fine.
see.
I mean, really, he's not making the jump because he's definitely going to be uncomfortable at the weight. He belongs at 45 in my opinion. The
I
only
agree.
reason he moved up is yeah.
But I think he's good 55 or 2. I think that the weight, like, he looks good at 55.
He's fine at 55.
Because he's
fine at
always been very
55, but
tall
his
for
build
featherweight.
is definitely it performs best at 45.
Yeah, because he could be more of a weight bully. He's got the crazy reach advantage, height advantage.
Yeah.
But at lightweight, like, it's more even for him. But he still fills out very well and like naturally. I feel like that's what I'm saying. I'm just curious to see for welterweight. I could see it being similar to like a Pereira. I know obviously light heavyweight to heavyweight is a massive jump, but similar to that in the sense of like, how much speed do you lose? Because Pereira's never, like you said, he's never been that fast. But Pereira was very slow in that fight. Like, he was flat-footed and just like head straight on, like just getting pieced apart. And so, I mean, Max is a far more technical boxer, but I'm just curious to see how the weight added will affect him. I probably still have Max Holloway winning the fight, but I will be rooting for Connor because I think that's kind of fun. And I also want to see how quickly they shove him into a belt. Tons of people are saying if he beats Max, then he fights Gaethje at 155. I don't know how that makes any sense.
He's not cutting down to 55.
Yeah, I don't know how that makes any sense. I don't know how he's making 155, but that'd be hilarious.
I don't know how he's trying to make 155. He barely has any interest in competing anymore.
Yeah.
Much less competing at weights.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw he did an interview with Ariel Helwani today, and he said
I did see that. Two fights.
He's got 2 fights, and one of them's already booked for next April. I don't know how that makes any sense, but I guess maybe he fights Ilya in April. Maybe Ilya's healthy by then.
That would be the biggest non-title thing ever.
Yeah.
Ilya would smoke him now.
Yeah, it'd be like 4 punches and it'd be over. Other stuff that happened in this card, O'Malley got a signature Sugar Sean knockout, like he was talking about leading up to this fight versus Ayman Zahabi.
Yep.
I mean, that was a great fight, honestly. Zahabi was
just
weird
game plan for Zahabi to sit at range in a Philly shell against the best.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm pulling up the fight here, if I can, because I want to see the like the strike count. But yeah, so Zahabi
did Zahabi even shoot in that fight? I don't remember him. No,
he did
That's
not.
very stupid.
He didn't have a single takedown in any of the rounds. In round 1, I can't see the strikes by like head, body, whatever. That would be nice to see.
He just landed a bunch of leg kicks.
Yeah, he just spammed. Oh, I see it now. So he had in the full fight, Zahabi had 6 head strikes, 0 body, 26 leg, and then O'Malley had 32 head, 7 body, 2 leg. He was just not. He wasn't shooting for takedowns at all, which we've seen O'Malley lose to multiple times. We've seen him get dominated by leg kicks as well, which he was doing. The leg kicks were landing pretty well. Although O'Malley said at the end of the fight like they didn't matter or whatever, like you could tell that they were affecting him a bit. He was switching stances and stuff. Like they certainly were affecting him. But you can't just win a fight through leg kicks. Like it's not like UFC 5. It's not a video game.
You have to use the leg kick to set something.
Yeah,
that's just always how that goes. You never.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. It's not impossible. You could hit the nerve or whatever. Happened to O'Malley before, but it's 1 in a million. You gotta do more than that if you want to win.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
O'Malley, the way that he won that fight was so cool with the one punch knockdown.
The walk off.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Zahabi rolls backwards,
Yes.
and then he just one punch again on him, and then as he's falling, he does the salute. That was a signature moment for
That
sure.
was cool. Yeah.
And I felt good.
What
For,
I really
felt
want
good
to
for
talk
Sean.
about with O'Malley,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest, is the Jan rematch.
Okay.
Because that's far more important than what happened I think the Zahabi fight went about how everyone expected. Just
Okay.
O'Malley at range.
Yeah,
Zahabi,
I don't
Billy
disagree.
Shell.
So O'Malley
Yeah.
jumps Umar in the rankings today. He goes from 3 to 2.
That's not surprising at
Yeah,
all.
that is absolutely makes sense to me.
They'll
I think
do the rematch.
so. Yeah, because Marab just lost to Peter Yan back in. I mean, not just. It was December, but that they fought and Marab lost. It wasn't even particularly close at all. So, Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2.0.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that fight. I'm assuming it will happen. They both have called each other out a little bit. O'Malley,
I'm pretty
obviously,
confident.
he won the last one. It was a split decision. A lot of people said that it was an undeserved split decision, and that Peter Yan actually deserved to win it.
In that one,
You said you had Peter Yan winning that one.
I had Peter Yan winning the first one, and I am especially confident that he'll win the second. If I'm being honest,
I agree. I think
because
go on.
O'Malley's cardio is not championship level. It just is not. Quite frankly, if it goes, I mean, he beat Cheeto Vera, but Cheeto will sit and eat however many punches you throw at him. He's not going to do anything on offense ever. And Jan just isn't like that. I think I wouldn't be shocked if O'Malley wins the first round, maybe even first two. But I think Jan definitely pulls away, gets some takedowns, ground and pound, range, body kicks, that type of thing. I think Jan will win rematch by decision quite handedly. That's my take on that.
Yeah, you mentioning up the stamina as I said I was going to go back to Ilya. Like that was another thing for him that he's only ever had one 5-round fight, and it was versus Josh Emmett. And this fight showed his stamina was not there versus Gaethje. He was getting gassed, and in round 3, early in round 3, he was just doing nothing because he was like for 2 minutes or so he was fully regaining his breath. But whatever. Yeah. That's in the past. Yeah, I think O'Malley, Peter Yan, I would take Yan. I think that he's just he's gotten better throughout his career, and not to say that O'Malley hasn't either.
Yan decision,
but I would say Yan submission. I think.
You think he submits O'Malley? Really? He could. Marab found a submission on O'Malley, and Marab's not a submission guy at all. So it's definitely possible.
Yan has 20 wins, 8 finishes. I mean, he only has 1 submission in his career, and I'm trying to scroll to see where it was. So, wow, I'm looking at this. It's the DQ. Okay, dude, it must have been really early in his career because I couldn't remember. Wait, did I scroll right past it? I might have. Am I dumb? I don't see it, but whatever. As I'm talking, so the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights in Petr Yan's career where he's 5-3 in them. They're all decisions, which is quite interesting.
Yes.
Even early on in his career, a lot of them were
decisions. Yan's not a risk taker.
So it was pre UFC. I can check it out on ESPN because they'll have it.
The one quote unquote knock on him is that he's not aggressive, which is in some ways true. And that is part of why he's been so, quote-unquote, unlucky, if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Marcus McGee, that's a fighter that I think Ilya could finish. Jan. That Jan could finish if he really put the pedal to the metal and stepped forward, especially in a 5-round fight, because that was the main event, if I remember correctly. But he'd rather sit there and be so defensively sound with his boxing and piece guys off and take the decision, which, hey, credit to him if that's what he wants to do. And I think this has happened with O'Malley. I really do.
So he beat Haron Orzumiev in 2015 via submission guillotine. That was his only one in a first round. So maybe submission is a wrong call for Peter Yan, but I just think that he's going to take down O'Malley. And if he's just going to, is he just going to hold him there for minutes at a time? Maybe. But I think that O'Malley's Yeah, that's certainly true as well. But I think O'Malley's been proven to be able to like be worked on the ground off like the other person's being offensive, and I wouldn't be surprised if Piotr Jan does that as well. Um, we'll see though. That would be a great fight to do, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, the final few fights of this card, we had Mauricio Rufy knock out Michael Chandler, or it was like a TKO, whatever. So unsurprising. Chandler was just set up to the slaughter for Rufy. This was just like a
I'm not gonna spend
we
too
want a
much
signature
time
moment here. Yeah, it was just like I just wanted to mention all the fights. And so Chandler Chandler fell out of the rankings, and Rufy went up to 7 from 9, like I told you he would. So he's now like Rufy's the first guy out of the top tier of lightweight. I feel like, or even like the tier 1, tier 2, where we'll see Benoit Patty. That's like really going to decide like a big, like what like the future of lightweight, and then you still have like the Max, Charles, Armin, Ilya, Justin. So, but I feel like Rufy's just right outside that group, like with like a Gamrot, Dan Hooker crew, and they're waiting to see the result of Benoit Patty to see like who's Rufy going to fight next.
He has lost to Benoit before.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right. You're right. I was in my head when I was saying that. I was thinking of Patty, honestly. I don't know who. Yeah. I don't really know who Rufy fights in the future. I saw people saying versus Ilya. I mean, I don't. That makes no sense to me. I don't know why Ilya would.
If I were to match make Rufy, I would do Diego, since Diego Lopez wants to move up to 55. I think that would be a great debut. I think that would be a great debut. And quite frankly, I do think Rufy would knock him out. Because Diego, I know it's wrong to keep picking against the guy who just proves me wrong every time, I guess. But he's so susceptible to straight shots. He eats jabs and right hands. He's so chin reliant, and when you're going against a rangy striker like Rufy, that's a dangerous game to play. That really is.
No, that's fair. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, we saw versus, and we can get into the Diego Lopez Steve Garcia fight here. We saw against goddamn Steve Garcia, who is not good. That, I mean, he's not like terrible, but he's nothing special. And he was getting kind of pieced up a little bit in that first round. Diego Lopez was, and I mean, I still think that he won the round, or like at least like it was very close. But it was, like I said, very close, and he did not. It wasn't like any sort of dominant performance like one might expect it to be, especially versus like a seemingly significantly lesser opponent. So yeah, that was pretty surprising, no doubt.
I bragged about my Sirigan pick earlier. I'll eat there on the Steve Garcia, I guess. But I mean, that really was a winnable fight for him. I'll be frank about it.
Did you take Garcia?
I took Garcia. Yes.
You're crazy.
Yes.
You're crazy.
No, Diego will eat straight shots day and night. He doesn't care, and I know he has more power than a guy like Steve Garcia, and I know he's got, quite frankly, a one-of-one chin. I mean, it is special, his chin. He can eat some shots. He eats shots from guys like Gene Silva, who, when he touches people, they just fold a lot of the time. Yeah. But not Diego. He'll bite on that mouthpiece and he'll go forward no matter what. Which, credit to him. I don't know. I feel like against a guy like Rufy, in my head, Rufy is stepping back. He's landing the right hand. He's throwing knees up the middle. Just the straight shots against Diego are so money, and they would be so money for a guy like Rufy who really just works on that. That's all he throws. I mean, against Chandler, uppercuts. That's all he threw. Not all. He threw some wheel kicks too.
Yeah.
He knew he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, Chandler you could literally do anything you wanted to, and it was gonna work. I mean, the wheel kicks were like, he threw like 3 or 4 of them, and they all landed. Like Chandler's just a joke. Yeah, Diego really won this fight though when Steve Garcia started to move forward on him and like try to press up on him. And you're just not when it's a legit brawl, like you and I are standing right in front of each other and we're just gonna throw. There's very few guys I'm taking over Diego Lopez. Like he is always going to win that battle, and he very easily did versus Garcia. He's a good, like a responsive fighter. I forget what the counter fighter. That's the word. Like he could put it on you, but he can also like counter when you he's good at like slipping and jabbing back or whatever. And
I mean, when
Yeah,
Diego was moving backwards, he was losing
he
pretty
was.
handedly.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Garcia
he
was looking
bit
pretty
down.
solid.
He bit down and he moved forward in the second round. He found a what was it? Was it a left hook? I want to say.
I feel like that's true. Yeah.
I believe it was a left hook over a jab that Garcia threw and whiffed on, and then Garcia went to throw a right hand and he just got sat down a little bit, and then Diego ended up on top. And his ground and pound is one of one.
Mm-hmm.
His ground and pound is great. Saw it in the Silva fight, and he finished Garcia with it, which good on him, I guess. I'm just gonna keep picking against it. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not betting on the guy who relies on his chin as much as Diego does.
I mean,
But good on him. It was great. It was a good performance from Diego.
yeah. And then I mean, the only one that like we kind of talked about it briefly earlier, but like Bo Nickel, like I just don't care. I mean, I'm watching it again here. Like, yeah, it was just boring. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Kyle Daukaus is just like not good, and I mean, Bo Nickel's not
Getting
ranked.
stood up was interesting, I guess.
Yeah, that was a weird. That was a bad stand up. But I mean, when you're on the ground for 2 minutes, the UFC, especially in that moment, the UFC is gonna be like, we need to something exciting. So whatever.
It's the Paramount era. They're gonna send people up
Yeah.
quicker. There's gonna be a lot less.
I-
What's the word? Leniency on that.
So I saw people talking about this. Did Justin Gaethje have the greatest walkout of all time at the White House?
Eh. Nah. No, I don't think it is. I think the O'Malley walkout in Boston
Okay.
is like that's my favorite one ever personally.
Mm.
The moment, and then not just the moment, but to walk out to something like that in a city like Boston and an arena like where were they for that? Help me out.
Was that the Marab fight? Or was that
No,
no?
I'm
That
talking
was
about the
Aljo. That was
Aljo when
Aljo.
he
Yeah,
got
yeah,
the belt. Yes.
yeah. Wait, where was it? You said
Yes.
TD
What
Garden.
arena? Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Arena that big, city that big. Walks out to Superstar, gets the first round knockout, walks it off
Second round.
basically, and he did some ground and pound, but it was already over at that point.
Yeah, I'm looking at that card again. Neil Magny versus Ian Gary is on this one.
That's funny.
Yeah, like there's just Chris Weidman, Brad Tavares.
Ian Gary fighting for a title soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, man. I think Charles Armin's probably on that card. We'll see. I don't know. I know. Dana said that like we didn't. He's too poor to have this event happen in the future again. Which like just shut up. Like so cringe, so annoying. You're just blatantly lying, and you're just like yeah, like
yeah.
I hope that I will say I kind of had low expectations for this because I just figured something would go wrong. This was one of my favorite UFC events of all time. Like one of my favorite sporting events I've ever watched. It was so cool. The backdrop was amazing. All the walkouts were awesome.
You love the Ronald Reagan speech.
The live music was great. And like it was cool to like have them walk out with soldiers and stuff. And I don't know. I think it was all very well done. And then obviously the crowd at what was it like the Ellipse Park or Ellipse Park, whatever it's called. That was like whatever, like the 80,000 fan park close to them was super cool as well. I don't know. I think that the UFC did a great job here, and and I know Dana said he doesn't want to do this or the Sphere or anything again. They're all one-offs, but like I just think that they did such a good job with this one. I wouldn't mind them to do it again in the future, but however unlikely or likely it is.
I will say I don't want to see him outside again. I think it's a sport best conducted in an arena more so than a coliseum type thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I saw O'Malley say that he didn't think it was that big of a deal, like it didn't affect him that much. And maybe Diego Lopez said similar, but I don't disagree with that. There's for multiple different reasons. It was great weather that night, but like on another night where it's very hot or cold or rainy, windy, that could completely, alter how you're fighting. Yeah, so you're not wrong. But I mean, overall, I think it was a great great card. One of the best that they've done, honestly, ever. I don't know. I loved it. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Production was way better than I thought it would be. Did not get slammed with ads for once, which was pretty fun.
Yeah,
At least it
I was
didn't
also
feel like it.
yeah, and I wasn't sure if they were gonna do more like they were gonna make it more like political based, and they didn't really do that much, honestly, for like it being at the White House, you know, like
There were only like 2 or 3, I think. It was like one Theodore Roosevelt, one Ronald Reagan.
yeah,
Thing,
but it
like,
wasn't
yeah.
like anything crazy though to the amount that I was expecting. So
It wasn't unbearable. Yeah,
yeah, like
for sure.
I don't know. I think that I think the UFC did a pretty good job. Um, Upcoming events, there's a bunch of fight nights. Who cares? Who cares? Fiziev Torres is kind of interesting, but nothing crazy there. It's really McGregor Holloway too is the big thing here, and then Ankalaev Roundtree is pretty cool coming up. But outside of that, there's not much announced for the summer, unfortunately. Is there any future fights that you're particularly looking forward to?
Patty Benoit, for sure.
True.
I'm more interested in that than
McGregor
Holloway. Yeah, yeah. Patty Benoit just means more for the long term, prospects or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Gary Islam, I don't want to say that's going to be a fun one because, quite frankly, it's Ian Gary. It might not be fun at all, but that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think what's his name? What's his name? Kavanaugh versus Brandon Royval is going to be a pretty interesting fight too. I mean, a super young prospect in Kavanaugh, and then Royval, who's like uber, shown himself to be one of the better guys in flyweight. Had a brawl with the current champ in Josh Van. So I mean, a win here could put him in a position to, look at the belt again soon. Or actually, no, because he just lost a cop. So I'm lying. A win here could put him in a position
Kavanaugh who gets the title shot.
Yeah. A win here could put him in position to get another fight to then fight for the belt. We'll say that. Maybe he fights Tyra or something, who obviously just lost to Van. I don't know, but that's gonna be a good fight too. Yeah, this is gonna be a good summer for UFC, so I'm excited about it. I don't know. Any final thoughts about the UFC Freedom 250 card?
Not off the top of my head.
All right.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah. So fight of the night, performance of the night, and then goes to Ilya Gaethje, and then performance of the night also went to Galen Pereira. So I know Gaethje and Ilya split like a mil, and then I think Gaethje got like 250K as well or something. He got like 750K or 800K last night, which is pretty wild. So I mean, good for him. I think that this is. I saw people comparing, like saying like a win for Gaethje is sort of like a win for Poirier. Like they've always been in similar conversations as two of the main guys at lightweight for the last decade, who neither of them ever got a true belt. So I mean, maybe that's stupid to say or whatever, but I think it's pretty cool for Gaethje to finally get over that hump, and whether he retires now or not, it's still.
I feel bad for Dustin, if anything, because he was the better of the two, and he got the worst run of champions. He got to fight Islam instead of Ilya.
Yeah.
And we all know how that went. Yeah.
He fought Islam, and then was that his only belt? Was that? Yeah, he fought Charles too. I was gonna say, right? Yeah.
He fought Charles and he fought Khabib.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. I was gonna say I think he fought Khabib, but I wasn't.
He had the top 3. Yeah. He had the top 3 lightweights ever.
That's just hilarious, man. Like poor Dustin. Brutal. I was always such a big Dustin fan growing up. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Tony, and I'm sure future big UFC fight will.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'll bring you back on, no doubt.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and like down below.